Hello there.
Oh, hello there, Austin. It's week 17.
It is week 17.
Technically, I think it's supposed to be week 20 if we didn't miss any weeks.
Well, they won't. It's not the first time we're gonna miss a week.
Nope.
Won't be the last.
Nope. But hey, welcome to Balls and Blasters, episode 17.
Dun, 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 dun.
We're finally in the holiday season in full force. It's snowing.
It's snowing. It's cold. I have to use my auto start.
I don't have auto start.
That's sad.
It's an extra feature in my car. I didn't want to pay it.
Get good, lol.
Well, it's like I could just walk outside and start it.
You could, yeah. No, I like auto start. It's necessary.
I have been getting really sad though that every time like work stops, it's like dark.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the one thing that I'm like, I think I'll never love about winter is it's just so dark.
Wake up, go to work, and it's dark, and then when you leave work for the day, it's also dark.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that winter solstice so it starts getting. I think it's technically getting darker and darker still, right?
Yeah, for a couple more weeks, and then
January sucks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's not even cold yet, technically.
Well, Austin, we're balls and blasters here. You're the balls.
You're the blaster.
Yes, I think we did. Do you know how many times I got asked on Blackout Wednesday to guest star in this podcast?
I got asked a couple times too.
Yeah, probably by the same people.
Probably.
Yeah. So, guys, not yet.
Not yet. Future, maybe, possibly, potentially.
Potentially, yeah. Hey, maybe in the future.
I had an interaction at the gym. This is probably a few weeks ago now. It's a guy that we didn't go to school with, but I just met him at the gym, and I see him every so often. And he was coming up to me to talk about something or another. And he's like, "Did I see your face somewhere on like YouTube or something?" And I think he came across one of our YouTube shorts or TikTok or whatever. Oh. I was like, "Oh yeah, we do this podcast thing with my buddy Caleb." He's like, "Oh hell yeah, dude." I was like, "Yeah, no, it's fun. I enjoy it." And he's like, "Well, if you need, a former cop that's really conservative to come and spew some hot takes, let me know."
Okay.
I was like, "It's not really that kind of podcast."
Okay, dude.
Just thought that's probably.
Thanks for listening, though.
Thanks for listening. If you're still here, thank you. Appreciate you. No, that's probably the most interesting interaction I've had regarding our new venture.
And hey, you guys may, for your video listeners, they may notice something a tiny bit different here. There's a light that's shining colors right here, and you could probably see in that window right there. We're shined on.
Not to be confused with Shine Down.
Shine Down.
That's a band, Caleb.
Oh.
You've definitely heard of Shine Down.
Oh, I probably have.
1,000%. Your dad probably listens to Shine Down.
All right, Austin. Before we get started today, I just wanted to say one more thing. How did you use Apple Music? How did your Apple Music recap Wrapped look?
I do use the better of the two. Yes, I do use Apple Music. Kidding. I'm just trying to start wars
Spotify
out there.
Did it first.
They did. I do appreciate so it's Spotify Rewind. Is that what it's called?
Wrapped.
Spotify Wrapped, and then Apple Music does like Apple Music Rewind. I think. I don't know. It's the same thing, but I appreciate when they did copy Spotify that they release it at the same time, and it's literally the same format.
No, it's just like the exact same thing. They probably work together on that. Like, let's just give the people what they want.
Right. Mine was about what I expected. I'm an avid listener of rock and metal, and I really dove really deep into rock and metal this year and tried to expand my horizons. And I did. There's a bunch of new bands that I listen to more of, and yet still Metallica was on top for like the fourth time out of the last 5 years.
Wait, and they didn't have any songs in your top 5, right?
No, yeah, we were talking about this at work because work was boring. But in my top 15 songs, in my top 15 albums listened to, there was 0 Metallica. So which I think just means because I have the entire Metallica catalog on my phone downloaded in one playlist, and so like I'll just click shuffle sometimes. So there's a lot of songs that I listen to, and I know pretty much all of them, so I'd never skip any of them. So that's probably why they're still up there.
It's like you didn't listen to one particular song,
right?
More, but you just overall listen to them more. Yeah, it's kind of
How was yours?
Yeah, mine. You already know it was very, very odd.
Yeah, you sent a picture to our friend group chat. I was like, "What?"
So what happens with me is I think I'm never gonna leave this genre.
Yeah.
I used to be really into rap, like really into it, and then I got really into country.
And
then I like didn't like rap anymore. You know, I was that was like that 2020, 2023 kind of deal, like with all that stuff coming out, like the baby and all that stuff. And then I got really into country just because I liked stuff like more like Tyler Childers and stuff like that. And then I was like, I don't like country. I don't really like rap anymore. I don't really like any of the new stuff that's coming out. So, and then I started listening to a lot more indie stuff, and I'm so sad I didn't discover it sooner.
It fits your personality.
Oh my
I think.
gosh! Well, I'm like, it's so surprising. Like, if I would have found Tame Impala in like 2018, I think I would have listened to him since 2018.
You think so?
But yeah, 100%.
Like kind of like your soulmate, but for a band.
Dude, yeah, it's one guy.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
You didn't know that? It's like that
I've never
joke.
heard of Tame Impala. I don't even know what they are.
Oh, it's like that. It's like a joke. It's like, do you know Tame Impala is just one guy?
Oh,
that's like actually like a huge joke.
Oh,
like a huge meme. Yeah. Yeah, but my number one band was Surf Curse. They're also indie. If you, the only song you'll probably know is like Freaks or whatever, like them. And it was weirdly enough like a accidental AI like music.
that one made me laugh.
No, that one was definitely because like I was just like, it's kind of like trippy and like it's almost like stonery.
Yeah.
Which is like, so I'm like, I like that.
That's fair.
Yeah, I like that. It's like one of the albums that they call like acid rap, or not sorry, acid funk. I'm like, that's fun. Ooh, sorry, I'm gonna have to cut that. That's cool. What time is that? All right, perfect. But yeah, then I had so it was those two. Then a really odd one. David, if you guys don't know, you know about that, right?
David.
Yeah, D4VD.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, he's kind of like that kind of. It's like all his songs like are more like indie kind of, but not really. He's probably the closest thing I have to rap. But he's definitely not rap. Like, ever heard of like Romantic Homicide or something like that?
Sounds like an oxymoron.
But anyways, he's in some very, very hot water right now. Like, at worst or at best, he's a PDF file.
Oh, gotcha.
At worst, he is a serial killer.
That's an interesting place to be in.
It's like, it's bad. But like, I was like, why does the songs have to be so good?
So it's weird when I look at my top 15 bands for the year. I'm like, yep, okay, that makes sense. I remember that phase and that phase and that phase, and I'm kind of like you, where I don't listen to a lot of newer stuff. I'm just not a pop country or pop music kind of guy, but I love going back and exploring bands that I've either never really listened to before or that I've heard 3 songs from, and they're all on like 2 albums. So I'm thinking, well, if I like these songs on that album, maybe I'll like more of their stuff. And that's just the rabbit hole I go into. And I also really love rap. I love rap. I've always loved rap, but I only had 2 rap artists. I had Eminem, and then way down was Joyner Lucas. which is on brand. I love Joyner. Shout out Joyner.
You're very much like not like modern rap though.
No. I don't mind what's the term? Trap music.
Mm-hmm.
I have it on a couple playlists of mine, several songs, but yeah, I like more of, I guess, the lyrical technical side. Or I love 90s rap. 90s and 2000s rap. I always define my music taste as 80s through like 2010 rock, metal, and rap. That's like the best way I can define it.
That's definitely you here.
Yeah.
And then I gotta say my last artist, my number 5 was Tate McRae.
Of course.
For the girlies out there, I thought it was gonna be Sabrina, but it was Tate McRae. So that song "Sports Car" is just so good. Right.
Also on brand is all I want to say.
Hey. All right. Should we get into balls and blasters?
We can start 17? Doing what people that tuned in to listen to us talk about for sure. Why not?
All right.
I guess you all know the drill now. To all the new listeners out there, I'm the balls and blasters. I'm Austin. I talk about sports.
I'm the blasters and balls and blasters, and I talk about nerdy stuff.
And we play rock, paper, scissors to decide who goes first. Whoever wins goes first. The other person goes second. Mm-hmm. We discuss and wrap it all up. So,
like a Spotify wrap.
Dun 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 dun.
All right,
Austin. Way to tie it all there, Caleb.
Thank you. It's on shoot though, right?
It is on shoot.
All right, what's the score?
11-5 me.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, no! You gotta be kidding me. Austin threw out a scissor and I threw out a paper.
There goes my water bottle.
Yeah, sorry, it's a lot of Christmas stuff over there, too.
It's all right. 'Tis the season.
We are recording in also, like, the storage room, technically. Well, it's like my girlfriend's office, but...
That's the best 2 you've ever seen. Thank God that's not on screen.
It's very small. It's like 3/4 of the size it needs to be.
It's deformed, and we love them all the same. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Someone kind of sprayed everywhere.
Yeah. Not your best effort, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. All right, Austin, what do you got today on episode 17? I can see a giant episode 17 on your notebook.
Yes, I try to delineate my pages by writing it as big as possible. Mm-hmm. All right, Caleb. It is about that time where I talk about hockey again.
Yes, we are in the hockey season.
It is hockey season. I haven't talked about hockey since our Halloween episode when I talked about goalie masks.
Oh, yeah. You guys love that one, by the way.
Yeah, it's one of our more popular episodes, so check it out if you haven't. I was struggling to figure out what kind of hockey topic I wanted to talk about because we were having a conversation. This is probably, it was on Blackout Wednesday, and you were bringing up the idea of, discussion topics versus historical topics, and I've been leaning in a historical sense. So now I kind of want to lean into something more discussion-wise, particularly more opinion. I don't know if I have too much discussion, more just an opinion that I have.
Okay, and I'll be your foil. I'm in.
Ask away as you always do, okay, Caleb. Right. Don't be afraid to interrupt me.
Okay.
I want.
So about.
And this was the last episode of Balls.
Somebody got thrown out that window. And it probably wasn't us.
I want to talk about overtime in the National Hockey League.
Ooh, this is something I actually know a little bit about.
What do you know about overtime, Caleb?
That it goes into a shootout eventually.
That is eventually what happens. Yes, correct. Anything else that you might know?
It's like 2 overtimes, right? Or is it 3? Then it goes into shootout.
It is just, for the regular season, it's just 1.
Oh, I thought it was 2.
Just 1 overtime period. So, I want to talk about modern NHL overtime and give my opinion on it. But before I talk about how modern NHL overtime is played, I would first like to go through a short history of how we even got to this point.
We can't escape the history.
Can't escape the history. What would we be with our opinions if not for based in the historical fact?
Hey, those who forget history are doomed to repeat it.
That is correct.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Let's continue.
So, first of all, what is overtime? Caleb, do you know what overtime is?
Overtime is, this is going to be so funny. I'm going to let you know right now, both of our topics deal with overtime.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's so weird. Overtime is when the score is tied, and so it's like, hey, we can't just have them both win or both lose, depending on if you're an optimist or pessimist. So you go into overtime to see, hey, let's figure this out and let's see who will actually win this.
Pretty much spot on. NHL hockey game is divided up into 3 periods of 20 minutes. After all 3 periods are played, after all 60 minutes are played, if the 2 teams are tied, they will then go to overtime to try and determine a winner. It is a sudden death overtime, golden goal overtime, meaning the first team that scores is the team that wins. Pretty straightforward. And as you alluded to a few minutes ago, if no one wins in overtime, then they go to a shootout.
Okay. I knew that part.
They go to shootout. It's a 3-round shootout. I have some small notes on shootouts later. But no, it's a 3-round shootout, and they can go longer if necessary. But that is the definition of overtime. That is what we're talking about. Let's talk about overtime before today. So, before 1942, so essentially before World War II.
Wait, 1942?
Yeah.
That was right in it. Sorry. My history knowledge here. That was right in it.
I was to say essentially before World War II.
I hate you.
Essentially. Anyways, games would go into a 10-minute non-sudden death overtime. So if the game was tied after 3 periods, they would play an extra 10-minute period of overtime. There was no golden goal. They would just try to play more to determine a winner. If the teams were still tied after that extra 10 minutes, then the game would go down as a tie. From 1942 up until 1982, the NHL just straight up eliminated overtime. And I think World War II had something to do with it. They mentioned wartime restrictions.
These men need to stop watching this hockey game and get those factories.
Probably not super far away. There was a lot of athletes back then that stopped playing professional sports to go serve. World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, all that stuff. But then in 1983, the NHL reintroduces overtime. It is a 5-minute sudden death overtime. And they would play 5-on-5. So in a normal play of an NHL hockey game, it is just 5 skaters versus 5 skaters. Each team has a goalie. They would in 1983, we're going to do 5-minute overtime, 5 skaters aside for. And then it's golden goal. They introduced golden goal, meaning the first team that scores wins. If it was still tied after that 5 minutes, it would be determined a tie. In the first couple weeks of this new rule, there was 2 games that went to overtime, and they were scoreless, and they were deemed ties. The very first game to be decided by overtime with the new overtime rules was October 8th, 1983, when the New York Islanders defeated the Washington Capitals 8-7 in overtime. A lot of goals back then.
I also feel like hockey is a very it's kind of like soccer where it's very easy to go into overtime because of how little the scores are.
Right. No, that's definitely very fair. And I make mention of a fun fact later. Some teams go to overtime quite often. But yes, it is definitely, because of the nature of low scoring games, it is definitely common for games to go to overtime.
Well, also too with like football and stuff, every touchdown's worth 6, and then there's an extra point, or like you can do this, whatever. So like games rarely go into overtime in
There's
football.
weird scores, weird numbers. Yes, it's not easy to tie, per se. So that was 1983. And then in 1995, the American Hockey League. So there's the National Hockey League, the highest league, and then there's the American Hockey League, which is essentially minor league hockey. They introduced a rule where the losing team in overtime receives 1 point. To explain that, forever it was just you win, you get 2 points, you lose, you get 0 points. It was very cut and dry. Well, the American Hockey League decided to experiment with the losing team in overtime getting 1 point because they deemed that it was fair. You put as much work as the other team in to get to this overtime to have the potential to win the game. You should get a reward for going that far.
Yeah, I like that because like in overtime, it's essentially anybody's game still.
Right.
So it is like, hey, if you sucked, you wouldn't have gotten this far.
Right.
So,
and I think it makes for more competitive standings as the season goes along, and is a better calculation of how good a team actually was throughout the year. So the American Hockey League introduced that in 1995. In 1998, the AHL introduced a new rule for overtime where it would just be 4 skaters aside. So up until 1998, everybody was doing 5-on-5 overtime. For the most part, everybody was doing 5-on-5 overtime. But the American Hockey League said, screw it. Let's try 4 skaters, and each team has a goalie. They did this because teams tend to bog down and play super safe in overtime, regardless of how many skaters are on the ice. But with less skaters on the ice, there's more room to operate, more chance for plays to be made, open up the game a little bit more. Still 5 minutes, still 5 minute overtime period. It is important to note, now we're playing with less skaters than normal. So 4-on-4 hockey, if there's a penalty, the team on the power play would get an extra skater. So it'd be 5-on-4.
Oh, that's fun.
If a team was penalized twice in quick succession, then it would become 5-on-3.
So not only do you gain, your opponent gains one, you also lose.
So it's a lot like the normal run of play in regulation hockey where, it's 5-on-5. If you get a penalty, you lose a skater. You get 2 penalties, you lose another skater. But you can never have less than 3 skaters. 5-on-2 would just be ridiculous. Nobody wants to see that.
Start Supermaning all over the place.
So there was that. And then it is important to note with this 4 skater rule and, overtime losers receiving 1 point, the American Hockey League still deemed that if it's tied after this 5-minute overtime, it's a tie game. So there's no shootout yet. This rule change, not only to have the OT loser receive a point, but to also go to 4-on-4 was extremely popular amongst hockey fans in these American Hockey League towns. So the NHL decided to adopt it in 1999. They're like, that's good. We should do that. Quick note, just for the non-hockey inclined, say it's 4-on-4 hockey, right? And there's one team gets a penalty, other team gets to put an extra player on the ice for 2 minutes to make it 5-on-4. Say they don't score on that power play, that penalized player comes back out on the ice and they play 5-on-5 until the next whistle.
Oh.
And then they go back to 4-on-4.
So kind of make it not have to, okay, get out here.
Right. So it's not like pausing the game or having to deal with people skating across the ice that shouldn't be.
Is that kind of a strategy that people would use too? Of like, hey, we really need like 5 people, so we gotta like take that hit and then get that 5th person. So even if it is 5-on-5, it's like, well, we have 5 people, and our strategy works better with 5.
It could. I don't think coaches would willingly try to do that, but coaches are definitely aware of who is going into the penalty box, and hopefully when they come out onto the ice after a successful penalty kill, they try to, have 2 defensemen, 3 forwards. Depending on where the puck is on the ice, if it's not the exact player group you want, it could be a quick line change to change that. So, yes, strategy is definitely an important part of it, but you don't, as a coach, you don't really get to choose who takes the penalty, you know.
Yeah.
In 2005, the NHL finally introduced a shootout.
Hey.
They
I didn't realize it was that soon.
Yeah.
We were alive.
Yeah, we were alive. It was 20 years ago, Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
We were 5 years old.
Yeah.
So the NHL introduced a shootout for games that were tied after overtime. It is a 3-round shootout. So whichever team scores more goals over those 3 rounds, they're the winner. They get 2 points. The loser gets 1 point. If they're tied after 3 rounds, then it's sudden death 1 round. And, whoever wins that round finally is the winner of the game.
So for the shootouts, do you get to pick your players?
Yes.
Okay.
And that is strategy. You'd be surprised which players do get to go in the shootout, which don't. Some players that are super skilled just can't score in a shootout scenario.
It's like they more know their like team passes to them and they can find that, but skating up and doing that.
It's a weird facet of the game to be good at.
Mm-hmm.
But it is important to have someone that is good at that. I couldn't quite find the year for this, but it was somewhere between, it was around the 2010s-ish, I think. But the American Hockey League and I think it's the East Coast Hockey League, that's like the even more minor league hockey. They started experimenting with 3-on-3 overtime, just to see. One thing a theme that's common across a lot of North American sports, other than like football, is they will make their minor league teams experiment with new rules. And they will let them experiment with new rules for a few years at a time, a couple years at a time. And if it goes well, then they implement it up into the big leagues. And they do that partially because you want to make sure it's a good rule.
Yeah.
And you don't want to sacrifice your TV product.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if you put a 3-on-3 overtime hockey rule in the American Hockey League for a few years, now all of a sudden those guys working up through minor league hockey, they're familiar with it. They know how to do it. They know what it is. Now when they make the NHL and the NHL implements it, they already know what it's all about.
That's so smart, actually.
Yeah.
So like you're kind of like rookies kind of come in having a lot more knowledge than
even the pro guys.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the American Hockey League, ECHL, started experimenting with it. And then in 2015, the NHL finally adopts 3-on-3 overtime. So 3-on-3 overtime has been a thing for a decade now. And also important to note that I mentioned back in 1995, the American Hockey League introduced the overtime loser receiving a point. The NHL introduced that rule for themselves in 1999. So if you lose in overtime, you get a point. If you lose in a shootout, you get a point. A fun caveat of this rule, I'm assuming it's a rule in minor league hockey, but I know it's a rule in the NHL. If you're a team in overtime and you pull your goalie to get an extra skater, so 3-on-3 overtime, lots of ice, if you pull your goalie to get a fourth skater on the ice, that's fine. That's legal. You can do that. But if you get scored on by the other team, you forfeit your 1 point.
Oh, so it's like you're really gambling.
It's very much a gamble.
All or nothing.
Why would this even be a thing? Well, one, it helps teams not collude with each other to lose points on purpose or to help one team gain points on purpose. But it's happened twice since 1999 where a team has pulled their goalie and the other team has scored, therefore they forfeit their 1 point. It's happened in the last couple of years, I think, actually. The reason a team would do this is they're on the playoff push and they need 2 points. 1 point isn't good enough. They need 2 points. So you give yourself an extra skater, hopefully possess the puck and score.
It's like you're not going to go on anyways if you don't do it.
Mm-hmm. So, but yes, it is very much a gamble. So, that is kind of the history of overtime. It is important to note that regular season overtime is different than playoff overtime for very good reason. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, which is the postseason format for the NHL, for those unaware, overtime is continuous 5-on-5 hockey with no shootouts. So if the game was tied after 60 minutes, if it's tied after 3 periods, you go in the locker room for a regular intermission, they clean the ice, you come back out, you play 20 minutes, just like you did the first 3 periods. Whoever scores first wins. And if nobody scores in that 20 minutes, intermission, come back out, another 20 minutes. And you do that over and over and over again until someone scores.
Gotcha. Well, it is like a tournament, though.
Right.
There's got to be a winner.
There's got to be a winner. Shootouts are very gimmicky. Like I said, it's one aspect of the game. It's not the full game itself. And if you're going to determine the winner of your very what's the term I'm looking for? There's a lot of money that people care about when it comes to the NHL. Like it's a big time sport, and you can't have a winner decided by a shootout. Essentially, can't have. That's what bothers me in soccer about championships getting decided by penalty kicks. I don't get it personally, but that's neither here nor there. Game only ends when someone scores. Regular full intermissions. The ice is cleaned and scraped in between to make sure that the playing surface is in best shape possible. So that is overtime in professional hockey in North America in a nutshell. Do you have any questions, any thoughts about that so far?
I didn't really. I just so surprised at how early it changed.
How recently?
Yeah, recent. Sorry, not early. How recent it changed. Yeah, it's like that 3-on-3 rule has only been around for a couple of years technically. So it's like, whoa, and that's all I've known overtime as is 3-on-3.
Right. No, it's definitely weird to look back in the record books and see hockey games with ties. It's so kind of as a college hockey fan, as you can tell, I'm wearing college hockey garb today. Ties happen all the time in college hockey, all the time in college hockey. But it's weird to see it in the NHL just because we've been conditioned for 20 years that there is no ties, and that's all we've really been alive for. So it's weird to look back at some team in the 80s that's got 4 ties. How'd you get 4 ties? What do you mean there's 4 ties? So that's overtime in a nutshell. Before I get into my opinion, I would like to have some fun overtime stats.
I'm intrigued.
Fun overtime stats with Austin. Let's go. The longest game in NHL Stanley Cup playoff history was contested between the Detroit Red Wings and the Montreal Maroons, who eventually became the Montreal Canadiens. The Detroit Red Wings beat the Montreal Maroons 1-0 at 16 minutes and 30 seconds into the 6th overtime.
And so they were going for a while.
They were going for a while. I forgot to write down the note of when this game was, but I believe it was back in the 30s.
Makes sense.
Back in the 30s. So for those who are doing math in their head at home, it's a 60-minute game in regulation. They almost completed 6 overtimes. That is 176 minutes and 30 seconds of total time. Or another way to look at it, if they almost played 3 full hockey games in one night.
Gosh, I would hate to have been a starter.
I can't imagine how tired they were. I don't even, those legs, you probably can't even feel your legs at that point, especially for a goalie.
Do they even get like a halftime for that, you think? Or do they think they're just like, hey, let's go?
No, I do know that it's a big thing. Teams in the locker room, especially after that first overtime, when it's like, okay, we played a slog of a first overtime. The second overtime is really going to suck. Team players will be, I think, bananas, applesauce. They'll get like hot dogs from the concession stands. Anything you can get. Team like Coca-Cola, just anything to get something in you to get energy, you know?
Yeah. Little tip for you: banana is the perfect pre-workout snack because of the amount of carbs it has. I know.
Fitness tips with Caleb. Second overtime fun stat. In total, in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs, 55 games have gone to triple overtime or later.
Ooh.
In the history.
Wait, that's a lot.
It is a lot of games. The longest ever hockey game that's been officially recorded was in a Norwegian hockey league, Norwegian Pro Hockey. They went into the 8th overtime, and the game winner was scored 17 minutes and 14 seconds into the 8th overtime. That
is a slog.
Yeah, I imagine being a fan.
I'm pretty sure there's like one guy at the crowd who's he's on his like 900th beer. He's like,
you better be drunk if you're gonna make it that far. You're probably sober by the time that game ends, to be honest. The Stanley Cup has been decided in triple overtime or later twice. So the Stanley Cup has been handed out after a triple overtime goal twice, which is just, I mean, that's a hell of a way to win it all, baby. Mm-hmm. Sucks for the team that lost it, though.
Do they still get a point?
Yeah,
do
right.
They get a little like bit of the trophy?
You get a pat on the back, buddy. Good luck. The most overtime games a team has played in one season, and I don't think this is a coincidence at all, because if we remember, the NHL introduced overtime, let me make sure I have yes, they introduced a shootout for games tied after overtime in 2005. So up until 2005, games ended in ties. Then they introduced a shootout so that there were no more ties. Well, in 2003-2004 season, the Boston Bruins played in 30 overtime games.
Oh my gosh.
It was an 82-game season. They played 30 overtime games.
Almost a little over a third of their games were.
Right. And the Bruins were not good in overtime. Of those 30 games, they won 8 of them. They lost 7, and they tied 15 times. So, yeah. Just a brutal season. And it's probably, and I think the third most overtime games for a team in one season also happened in that same season. So I think the NHL was like, we gotta come up with something here.
we gotta switch it around a little bit.
We gotta figure out what's going on here. The most overtime goals by a player in their career, Alex Ovechkin with 27. Have you heard of Alex Ovechkin?
I have heard of Alex Ovechkin.
The most points by a player in their career in overtime, Sidney Crosby.
I've heard of Sidney Crosby too.
With 48 total career overtime points. The most overtime goals in one season was just last year. A guy you probably haven't heard of, Leon Draisaitl. He's a German NHL player for the Edmonton Oilers. He scored 6 overtime goals last year. That was a lot.
Yeah.
He plays with Connor McDavid, if you know who that is.
That sounds very familiar.
Perfect. So, and then one more fun fact before I get into my discussion, and I will make the discussion somewhat quick. The longest we mentioned shootouts. The longest shootout ever, December 16th, 2014. Again, I want to reiterate that this is not really a coincidence, because in 2015, the NHL was like 3-on-3 overtime. That sounds pretty cool. We should do that. The year prior, December 16th, 2014, Nick Bukestad of Golden Gopher fame, boo, he scored the game-winning goal in the 20th round for the Florida Panthers to defeat the Washington Capitals.
That's crazy.
That is way too long to be. It's like in 20 rounds, you dress 12 forwards and 8 defensemen. You were literally on your last couple guys.
Yeah, it's like you're scraping the barrel on your team.
12 forwards, 6 defensemen. I think I said 8 defensemen. 12 forwards, 6 defensemen. You are on the very last bit there. So yes, not a coincidence that these rule changes happened when they happened. Okay, Caleb. I want to talk about 3-on-3 overtime strategy. All that lead up just so we could talk about the modern game here for a quick second. It is important to know, naturally, in a game like hockey, in a game like soccer, where there's many guys on the field and they're fighting over a singular ball or puck. Possession of this object is everything. Puck possession is key. If you don't possess the puck, you have no chance to score. You need to be able to possess. Because of this, face-offs become even more important. For those who aren't aware, a face-off, every time a whistle is blown or a period is started, the teams line up on a dot positioned somewhere on the ice, and the referee will drop the puck. The teams fight over the puck to get possession. That is how they restart play. Not unlike a drop ball, except the drop ball always goes to the team. Never mind. Forget it's anything. So face-offs are incredibly important, especially in overtime when it's a limited time period of 5 minutes. And now it's 3-on-3. So there's a whole ton of space to use. You need to be able to have the puck to use that space. Teams regularly employ a face-off specialist, guys that are aces in the face-off dot. A good NHL center wins over 50% of their draws. You get some really elite ones that creep up towards that 55% threshold. It's really hard to win face-offs.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Like you're flipping a coin.
Pretty much. So they will send, for overtime, teams will send out their ace to the face-off dot in the hopes that he wins it back to one of his guys, one of his teammates, and he will immediately sprint off the ice. And then another guy will come on in place of him.
So that's good strat.
Good strategy. Makes sense, right? You would think with all this space, you would want some skilled puck handlers out there, which is true. You do. But you need to make sure you have smart decision makers as well.
Wait, can we go back real quick?
Yes.
So for the face-off, does it ever happen where like they do the face-off and then both the guys run back to the bench?
I have not seen it myself, I don't think. I also don't think coaches would advise it. That's a good question, actually. I don't think coaches would advise it because if one of the guys wins it back to his guys, he scampers off the ice, and so does the guy who lost a draw. Well, that's one less guy on the ice for the team with the puck to have to get by. So if they see him go off, they might just immediately bolt forward.
Gotcha. So if you lose, you're pretty good strat to just stay.
Kind of stuck there until you can hopefully win the puck back. So you need to have skilled puck handlers that can keep possession of the puck, get around guys, make quality, crisp passes, but you need to have smart decision makers. It happens all the time where a guy who is trying to make a hero play, it goes horribly wrong, and all of a sudden there's a 2-on-0 breakaway going the other way, and that most of the time is where the game ends.
Yeah.
And when you're a fan of the opposing team and you've got the guy who turns over the puck like that, it's like I'm not even going to watch. I'm just going to start walking up the stairs. Just like I know what's going on here. It's common, and with so little people on the ice, it's common for teams to throw the puck back down the ice towards their goalie, which is scary sometimes depending on who your goalie is. But if you're getting pressured in the offensive zone, you might throw it back to your goalie. The goalie will reset it for you, for your other teammates and whatnot. That happens. Also, it is most teams will run a man-to-man style of defense as opposed to a zone defense, meaning this is your guy, you stick with them, as opposed to this is your zone, stay in your zone. With a zone defense, you're often not really paying attention to other areas of the ice. You're more focused on your area and what's going on over here, which makes you susceptible to backdoor plays behind you. Man to man, you're able to switch guys if they try to run like a pick play. It's just smarter defense in the end. But I tell you what, Caleb, for as skilled as some of these NHL players are, and for as little ice out there as there is, it should be an exciting format. But it's getting boring, Caleb.
It is.
Overtime is getting boring. The team that wins the face-off, they go back into their zone so they can possess the puck. And they get their guys on the ice that they want. They stay back in their own defensive zone so often that sometimes the defensive team can get their defensive guys out there that they want. Because puck possession is everything, they will be very meticulous about how they enter the offensive zone. And when they enter the offensive zone, it is just a lot of skating around on the outside, trying to hopefully create a pick play to where one of your guys breaks free towards the net, and it's just him and the goalie. But NHL defenders are so good that this rarely happens. Well, when you enter the offensive zone, there's that blue line there.
Mm-hmm.
If teams will realize they can't get an offensive play going, and they'll just take the puck back outside the blue line, and they'll even take it past the halfway point, past the red line, so they can keep possession of the puck and then change lines and then try to re-enter the zone again. And it's just this constant cycle of like, maybe, no, maybe, no.
No.
And so there's overtimes. It's a 5-minute overtime. There's overtimes where one team will have the puck for 3.5, 4 minutes.
And just like nothing happens.
And there's like no shots on goal.
Because the shot on the goal is super risky.
It's risky because if it's not a good shot on goal, then the goalie can grab it, kick it to one of his guys. Now they're going the other way, and they have possession. Like I said, possession is everything. So I think something needs to be done about this. And I also think we talked about shootouts. I call the shootouts a gimmick. They are a gimmick. I think it's a terrible way to end a hockey game. It's like deciding a baseball game with a home run derby, or deciding an NFL game with a 50-yard field goal kickoff. It's like this is one tiny aspect of the game.
Mm-hmm.
However, I understand it because you play so many games, you don't want to overstress your players, make them play so many times.
Yeah.
But so my fix, and a lot of people's fix on social media and talking heads, is that there should be a penalty for, if you're in the offensive zone possessing the puck, there should be a penalty for purposely leaving the zone. Or at the very least, a penalty for purposely going to the other side of the ice, going across the red line again, to hopefully prevent teams from playing this cat and mouse game, which I think is smart. I like that idea because it's like end-to-end action in overtime is some of the most heart-pumping thing you can watch. Like it's fun. It's overtime. It's fast. It's physical. People are flying around everywhere. There's great skill, and then they bog it down into guys aren't even at full stride trying to score points, and points are everything. You need to win the game. So I think it's getting boring. I think there needs to be a rule change. I would like if they did 3-on-3 overtime for a 10-minute period instead of 5. But again, that comes back to what if a team plays in 10 overtime games and they all go 10 minutes long? That's 100 extra minutes that your guys have to play. Injury risk, all that stuff. So I guess that's my spiel on overtime, and I think it needs to change. 3-on-3 overtime is great. It is better than 4-on-4 overtime, which is better than 5-on-5 overtime in the regular season. It is way better than it used to be, but I think it could be better. And the shootout sucks, unless you're there in person. Shootouts in person are low-key kind of sick. But
you know what my change would be?
What's that?
I'll give you my serious one first.
Okay.
Every shot on goal, because it's 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Every shot on goal for a minute, you get an extra player. So if you make it, great. If you don't make it, you get an extra player.
Interesting. Yeah. That is very outside the box thinking, Caleb. I do appreciate that.
So it's like, hey, you're rewarding them for at least trying.
For trying to score.
Yeah.
Yes. For trying to create offense. I think you could be on something. See, this is part of the reason we have this podcast, is because he brings an outside perspective to things I've thought about a million times. And I've never thought about something like this before.
Yeah. Or maybe like, you have to pick 2 players. You have player A, player B, and player C on the ice, and it, like when they do the rotations and everything, do that. Player A for both teams has to always stay in their defensive zone. Player B always has to stay in the offensive zone, so there's no offsides. And then player C can move between them.
That's fun. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, so you always have a defensive guy, you always have an offensive guy, and you have whatever. So you'd probably want your best overall player to be player C, your best defensive player to be A, and your best offensive player to be B.
So it essentially becomes a game of 2-on-2 in each zone, depending on where the puck ends up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like the other guy. So you always have somebody that's ready on defense,
Mm-hmm.
and you always have somebody that's ready on offense. So,
So
it rewards you from
there's
doing
no
offense.
like it's hard to have an advantage created, but hopefully it encourages teams to take risks in action.
Well, exactly, because like, you know that if you miss the shot,
There's still
you have a
a
guy
guy
back there.
right. It's I called shootouts a gimmick. 3-on-3 overtime is in itself a gimmick,
Mm.
but the whole purpose of overtime is to decide a winner, and you would rather decide a winner more times than not, as early as you can.
Mhm.
So that is a little more on the gimmicky aspect, but I do think it's an interesting idea, and I think it's fun.
Going back to that first one though, then if the other, so it's like it's not a, hey, if the other team shoots on goal, they get an extra player. No, you have to lose that player again. So you have to get 2 shots on goal if you're behind to get that extra player.
Like to get the advantage, or
Yeah, so like if you shoot, like if you're team A, you shoot on goal,
you get an extra player.
the extra player. Team B shoots on goal, you lose that player, and then they shoot on goal again, then they gain the extra player.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard.
No, I know what you're saying. It would just be tough to officiate that.
Or you just put 3 polar bears
Polar.
in the middle on overtime and like, hey, the only way you guys get out is if somebody scores.
Yeah, that would
lock them in.
That would be scary.
And they're hungry.
That would be. I mean,
And you have to dress everybody up in baby seal outfits.
I guess the birthplace of competitive sport is like the Roman Colosseum. So let's go back to that. Let's just bring out the fucking spears too, man. Why not?
And they're all sprayed with like meat spray.
Just really making hell out there.
Yeah, it's like, hey, somebody's got to do something, you know. But there's always a sniper with a tranquilizer gun on the polar bears.
Is pissing my pants an option?
That might help you evade the polar bear. They slip on the ice.
All right, Caleb. That's my spiel.
Your spiel. Well, Austin, I like overtime.
Do you?
No, I don't. You get paid well for overtime, but God, it's rough. It's rough. Well, Austin, thank you for that. My topic today also has to do with overtime.
Oh, really?
Yes, and you all out there may be wondering, Caleb, the blaster side. What do you have to say about overtime? It's a loose connection, but it still is important in this. So, this is going to be one of our kind of meld episodes.
Meld.
So, episode 17, I didn't want to wait till, or I kind of wanted to wait till a fun number. Austin, I'm going to be talking about an esport moment.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yes. If you guys didn't know, there are eSports.
Can I guess the game we talk about?
Yeah.
Is it Overwatch?
No.
Damn it.
No. It's a game that you've played a lot, actually.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the RLCS Season 5 World Championship final game.
Car soccer, baby.
Yep. So, Austin,
I'm Diamond 1.
what is car soccer? What is the name of this game?
Rocket League.
It is Rocket League. Rocket League 2015. If you guys didn't know what Rocket League is, it's essentially what Austin said here, car soccer. A little more than that, though. It's a fast-paced like car soccer game where you and it's a 3-on-3, and the goal is to use cars and hit a giant ball into the goal.
Mm-hmm. You can fly around and boost everywhere. And...
Exactly. So there's boosters all over the ground. You can jump and use your boost. You have a limited boost most of the time as well. So that's why those pads are on there.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't just be flying through the air constantly. And it's like a big aquarium is what the maps always look like.
Right.
You can drive up the walls because they're curved and stuff, but yeah, you can't leave. And the goals are like in the walls.
They're in the wall, yes. It's one of the few games I always keep downloading because I know I'm gonna play it at some
Yeah,
point.
it actually has gotten a little less popular in recent years, but I would like to talk about it today because I do want to talk about some esports, and I was like, what esport can I talk about that's also very interesting? And it's I keep calling it RCLS. It's RLCS Season 5 World Championship between uh NRG and Dignitas. You know who either of those teams are?
Energy is very familiar. Dignitas?
Mhm.
No, I don't think that one's familiar.
Basically, Dignitas is the Europe like favorite,
Oh, okay.
and NRG is North America. Is like the North America team that made it this far to the championship. So, what are the RLCSs? So, the RLCSs, they're the Rocket League Championship Series. They're arguably probably the most prestigious and like that's the World Cup of Rocket League
Mm-hmm.
in esports world. There's like with any video game, there's a ton of different tournaments
Right.
because video games are a little different. You don't have official athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can technically join a tournament,
Right.
but this is an invite only because you need to be good. Uh, this consists of teams from North America, South America, Europe, and Oceania. You notice no Asia in there at all, or Africa. Africa doesn't have a whole lot of Rocket League teams.
Antarctica getting snubbed.
Yeah, yeah. But Asia has their own series going on this time. I think they are added to this now.
That feels right.
Yeah, but they weren't for the first few years of the RLCSs. So these are a best of 7 game tournaments. So you need to win 4 games to move on
Mm.
and win the whole thing. So this is set the scene. We have NRG Esports and Team Dignitas. Like I said, the North American team versus the European team. It is Game 7, the final match. So it has been a slog, as one would say. NRG was not. They're kind of known as like they were at the time of like being really good on online tournaments, but LAN tournaments like in person tournaments, they just they just crumble and
Yeah.
they're just they don't know how to be in front of a live audience. Essentially, what that joke is. And Team Dignitas is it's kind of like really really good team. Like all their players in them. I'll get to them in a little bit here. They're just all around like they were the favorite to win
Right.
the tournament. And uh right now in this it is for this thing we're gonna skip all the fluff because there's only one moment about this entire tournament that's important, and that's the end.
Mm-hmm.
And it is 3-2 right now with 4 seconds left. Team Dignitas is up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you didn't know, 4 seconds is not a long time
No.
to score.
No.
Also commentating the match is Callum Shogun Kier. I think he still is. He might be retired now, but he commentated the RLCSs for so long. He's this British guy that I don't know how we got Shogun. I couldn't really find that, but yeah, he commentates all these games, and he's really good at it. He's a really fast talker. He can describe what's going on
Mm-hmm.
pretty easily here. So around this time, this is probably Rocket League's height of popularity time too. 2018. This is kind of I again, like I said, it has gotten less and less over the years, but between that 2018 to like that 2021 time frame is like when Rocket League was really really popular.
Right.
It still is today, but just not as much here. So I want to start off with Team Dignitas has Turbo Pulsa. He has already won a world champion in Rocket League. He is really good. He is really good. We have Violent Panda, who is arguably like he has. People would say he has like the most like game sense out of all. Like he's maybe not the best scorer, but he knows exactly where everybody needs to be at the
Mm-hmm.
right time. And then we have K-Dop, who is at the time the number 1 scorer in the world. He's like probably the best player in the world at the time. And then on NRG, we have Garrett G, who he's pretty good. He's like their star. NRG, if they had a star player, he'd be their star player at this time here. We have Jacob, who was subbed in at the time. Nobody knows really why he was subbed in at the time. He was just kind of there. He wasn't playing.
Right.
He was kind of like coaching, but he was just like there in case.
Uh-huh.
Which is really weird. Then we have Fireburner, who he is probably like the oldest out of everybody in this tournament, and he's kind of like that more like he's just solid.
Yeah.
He's like the I've been doing this, like he's been in the tournament since Rocket League started. Like, which is so weird because it's only been like 3 years
right
since the tournaments have started. Like he's I call him old. He's like, I think he's like 20, like 4 or 5.
Right.
So he's like he might be 27 or something like that. He's in his 20s though.
Uh-huh.
They're all these guys are in their 20s. They're not like up there. Especially Mr. Justin, spelled JSTN, who is the 17-year-old rookie for NRG. Now he's kind of like the prodigy kid for NRG. Here, like this is his first like ever tournament that he's at. He's good. He's really good. But like he's a rookie.
Right.
He hasn't had all that experience yet in these tournaments. The moment. This is 4 seconds left. Dignitas had just scored, making it 3-2. NRG is down by 1, and they are on that kickoff. Now every point you start off with a new kickoff in Rocket League, and basically the teams have to go, and the clock doesn't start until somebody hits the ball right away.
Right.
Now the thing about Rocket League is the game doesn't end when the clock hits 0.
Correct.
The ball has to hit the ground, the floor. It can hit the walls. It has, and the clock can still run. It has to hit the ground.
Right.
So, with being down by 1 with 4 seconds left, Team NRG is just in a state of, we need to keep the ball up. Now, if you've ever seen a Rocket League gameplay, like a high-end Rocket League gameplay, you know that, there's maybe at one time one person actually on the ground.
Right.
They're all flying through the air. They're all get on the walls, getting set up, getting ready for positions. So it's they got to keep this ball up.
Right. Against another team that's very adept at also hitting the ball in the air, trying to hit it to the ground.
Exactly. And someone say the best. I'd also say they're probably the best defensive team as well, which is what makes this moment so crazy. So it's 2-3, almost hit the ground, and NRG somehow keeps the ball up for a solid about, I think it was 15 seconds.
It's an eternity.
Yes, in Rocket League, yes. So they pass it up the wall. It's Garrett and Fireburner. They're passing up the wall, and Justin, he's kind of sitting on the wall a little bit, and he's getting ready. Team Dignitas is trying to hit it down, and it looks like the ball is going to hit the ground, but it hits the perfect angle on the side of the wall, and it bounces up perfectly. So Team Dignitas is we got this in the bag. NRG is nope, this isn't happening. The ball is probably about a millimeter from hitting the ground, but instead it hits the wall and bounces right back up. So, Justin, he is in a really good position. He is on the wall looking at the goal. And the ball just hit right to him. So this 17-year-old kid is about to make history in eSports. The ball goes up. Dignitas is all forward now because they're the ball is gonna be gone and the game is gonna be over. He is up, and his name is K-Dop. He realizes, oh crap, Justin is right up there about to score. So he uses all his boost and tries to get back to the goal, but Justin is already falling down. The ball hits him. He has no boost, no aerial. he had the perfect position. It falls, it scores, and the commentator, Shogun, screams. Do you know what he screams, Austin?
This is Rocket League.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that was this moment.
This is the moment. This is Rocket League. This is the moment. The game is sent into overtime. So, this clip, probably esports was already gaining popularity.
Mm-hmm.
This was the moment where esports really took off to that next level, where it was, hey, esports can be just as crazy and just as like insane and popular as regular sports can. Like, look at this example here, because this wasn't just viewed by like gamers. Like, this was like viewed by everybody. Like there are people who had never touched Rocket League that were like, holy crap, this is an insane moment.
It kind of became a meme,
Mm-hmm.
like in some sense.
Yeah, it was. It was like the show going, "This is Rocket League," you know. And this also did start like the wave of that Rocket League hype. So, like I mentioned here, Rocket League was already gaining a lot of popularity. Like 2018 was probably like its like prime moment, but that hype kept building to like about 2021, 2022. You know, and like, yeah, it's still popular today, but this boosted that time frame immensely. And like, this started a whole new wave of like new players. And like a lot of teams actually got like a bunch of like 16 and 17-year-old players, because, you know, they're just like looking for talent, and you don't have to be an adult to play in tournaments in video games typically.
It's weird how in like a physical sport, the more mature you are, the better you're just naturally going to be. But with video games, it's all about processing and fast twitch. Yeah. So it's almost, being a teenager is an advantage.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like typically like younger people are better at video games, and that does go to the time aspect as well. Like typically teenagers have more time to play video games. You know,
Yep.
Young kids, they have more time to play video games.
Get a job.
Yeah, exactly. Like that meme of like, I wish there was like there was employed and unemployed lobbies in COD. Stuff like that.
Big facts though.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, so this was insane. This started the movement of like more CS:GO tournaments being watched, more Overwatch being watched. You know, it kind of Rainbow Six, it kind of elevated that, hey, these things are kind of popular now, and now there's a tournament like every day for a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can go on Twitch and find a tournament for any competitive game.
You can make a lot of money playing competitive esports.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember when like the FaZe Clan, when they won, they won like $1 million like each or something like that.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So, this will be a short topic for today. We just like, busy. But I wanted to start off with esports. Austin, do you know who won this game, by the way?
I don't. I've been waiting to figure out. I know the moment that this is Rocket League moment. I don't know who won.
In the end, it was kind of uneventful. Team Dignitas would eventually win in overtime.
Sad.
Yeah, which makes this moment even crazier. It's like, oh my gosh, NRG, because they were like the underdog. They're like, they're gonna win after this, and then they lost in overtime. It was kind of uneventful. They lost. NRG they wasn't super fast, but they lost within like the first minute of play.
Yeah.
So, one of the reasons why I wanted this too was NRG had like a really bad drought for their tournaments after this. They wouldn't, or like their next three, they wouldn't even like get close to the world championship, like the last game, until finally in 2019 Justin would eventually have his win, no longer as a rookie but as a seasoned veteran, in RLCS Season 8 championship in 2019. So that may seem like a very short time. There's a like esport tournaments, they're like
all the time.
Yeah. They keep going. Like this is also not the only tournament that both those teams played in between those 2 years.
Right.
Or between that year. Like there's constant play, and that's another thing of like it's not super mentally taxing your body, where you can do like
Right.
a tournament a tournament a week
Right.
if you
Yes.
really want to. That might get a little tough because it does get with your hands and your mental state, but like
Right. But you don't have to physically recover to be able to
exactly.
perform.
Exactly. So yeah. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this was lately there's been that meme going around of Lionel Messi looking at the World Cup trophy.
Yeah.
And you saw that one today, and I was like, this would be a really fun topic because that's kind of how NRG felt right at the end of
Right.
like they were so close to winning the world championship, and then they.
Yeah. Little did they know it would be even longer
Yeah.
after that
Seriously.
moment.
Yeah. I do believe that after this, who was it? Fireburner. That was his last ever official like game.
Mhm.
He quit esports after that. But he was like, again, he's like an old head in Rocket League. He was like, but he was also like,
Right.
he was not old.
Right.
He just kind of retired from that. Yeah, Team Dignitas is actually owned by or they're actually stationed in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey now. So no longer a Europe team.
Interesting.
So that's kind of fun. I think they still all their players are still European technically, but they're
Yeah.
not. They're a North American team now.
Right.
And yeah, this is Rocket League. That's my little spiel on the this is a Rocket League moment.
I wanted to say Shogun making that call, which obviously wasn't planned. It was just feel. It was in the moment. You know, there are some commentators that will try to think of things that they want to say in epic moments, but a lot of the times it's just whatever happens, happens. Him delivering that line the way he did in that moment is what makes that moment so popular. And it's the same thing in like a physical sport. Like whoever's commentating, whoever's doing play-by-play on that game is that's what you hear. That's what gives people chills. It's not just the game-winning home run or the game-winning goal. It's the way the commentator makes you feel when that moment is happening. And I think it's really, really important for high-level esports or high-level baseball, soccer, whatever it is, to have like an elite play-by-play guy to be able to deliver those moments.
Exactly. And Shogun too, if you didn't yeah, I highly recommend everybody go look up this clip. He is not missing a beat too, because it's a very fast-paced game. He's going K-Dot is doing this, Justin's doing this, Firebird's doing this. Like he is like he is constantly going. So that was kind of his like moment of like he like literally like thought the game was over.
Right.
Hit up. So the moment from the ball hitting up and Justin scoring is like a second or two. Like, and it's like he's commenting like in that second, like, like hey, the ball's going up and Justin, this is Rocket League. Like it's just stuff like that. It's like all that stuff has to go like he's going so fast, and because he thought the game was over too.
Right.
But
no, it's a testament to, ooh, I'm hungry. My stomach just grumbled. It's a testament to that. It's not. Yes, esports are inherently nerdy, but it's competition, and competition's fun. And I haven't watched esports in quite a while, probably since high school. I just don't have the time to randomly log on to Twitch and watch esports like I used to. But I remember being super into like Call of Duty esports for sure, and it's fun. It's exciting. Your heart gets going. You start cheering for teams that you have no real connection to.
No, exactly, and it's like it's kind of like because a lot of these games, Rocket League is not the best example of this. It was like CS:GO and stuff, where it's like if you get like eliminated or whatever, you're out. So instead of like a sport where it's like, oh, the team like you can keep going, like you have to really, really be good.
Right.
If you get eliminated, you're done for that round. Like your team has lost you for that round.
Right.
And stuff like that. Or that it's like, hey, if you mess up in Rocket League, you're on the other side of the field, and so your team has kind of lost you. Because like it's like, and you have to go back. Like you have to get back there. But Yeah, so it's like there's that extra aspect of even though it isn't necessarily like really physical. It's hey, it's fast paced and your team needs you, and there's a lot of things that you need to be doing in those games as well.
Yes, it's only growing. It's only getting more popular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe not Rocket League specifically, but
No,
esports as a whole.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's colleges that have esports teams now.
Big facts.
So, yeah, it's like
yes,
it is growing. Like I do think that it will be eventually like on TV, like main.
I could see it. It's close,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's cool that colleges are starting to sponsor this stuff because that's what the generation that's coming up enjoys. It's something that they're interested in, they want to do. So I think it's really cool to give these kids a club and an opportunity to pursue that passion.
Exactly.
So, could be the next Justin.
There you go. Yeah, you could. I think he is actually retired now as well from Rocket League. So
I think I don't have any more comments. Caleb, did you have anything else?
No, I did want to do. We said last week was going to be a short episode. We said this week was going to be a short episode. This week's shorter. This week is shorter.
It is shorter. It is a little bit shorter.
But we've just been, I've got a lot of stuff to do, so I'm like, I gotta get this. I gotta have a little shorter topic so I have more time. But we didn't want to miss a week, and I think I'd rather do a shorter episode than miss a week now. So
yeah, I think that's probably fair. We're trying to be as consistent as we can be. Hopefully, still deliver quality content.
Yeah.
We have improved lighting. Hopefully sometime soon we get. We have one mic stand. We'd like a second one so we don't have to hold microphones the whole time.
Then it won't be like differing audio levels too. So yeah, because then you guys
maybe get some foam in here to not that the echo is bad, but just reduce it.
Yeah, and then maybe my girlfriend can not get mad at me if I yell at video games.
Maybe we'll see. I don't think that's gonna change, buddy.
It never.
All right. This has been episode 17 of Balls and Blasters. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. Sorry, brain fart. We're on Apple as well.
Check out your raps and your rewinds and your stuff like that. YouTube has one. We just found that out today.
There's a YouTube rewind. YouTube replay.
I got to look at mine. You show me yours. I have to look at mine. Mine's going to be so loud.
I won the award of most likely to recite a sports statistic while listening to my favorite metal song. I wish I was lying.
That's like that's got to be like AI generated.
1,000%, 100%. We're also on Instagram. Yeah. We do have a TikTok. The TikToks or the shorts have stopped again momentarily. Caleb is our resident editor. And he's busy with school and life and all that stuff. Yeah. So it's tough to create talks and shorts.
Yes, that's why this sometimes comes out. This episode's probably gonna come out on Saturday. Just so you guys know, I'm very, very busy right now. But hopefully in like 2 weeks I won't be.
Yeah. So
I think 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Wait. Yeah, 2 weeks and I should be good.
It's just the way it is, man. That's how she goes. So. That's it. This is episode 17. I have been Austin, and I still certainly plan to be next time I see your lovely faces.
I'm Caleb. Hopefully you guys love our shining light. It's got a little fog.
It's like a full moon in the distant night.
Yes.
We look so crisp. My mustache really pops.
It really does. Well, thank you for listening to Balls and Blasters, episode 17. We will catch you on the next one.
See you later. Well, see you later.